Hello, viewers. Thanks for watching this success story. And first, good wishes to you all for preparing towards the examination. At the same time, these success stories give some boost, some sort of energy that, another person, right? And we have Prachit with in front of us. She cleared PMP on 30th of September. Okay. I know some of you from her batch is going to watch this video, feel, oh, yeah, she cleared. So maybe many of us, once a person clear, we try to message them, hey, can you give me some tips how you do that, right? So we thought this kind of success stories will definitely help you. First, let's wish her congratulations for this wonderful achievement.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Great. So she's sitting in a very beautiful location. We are talking about where she is, all those stuff. For the benefit of all, she can give a little heads up. Where are you? What do you do? So that will help more for the people who listen to you.
Right. So I'm currently in Jersey City in New Jersey in the United States. And I'm currently in my graduate school. I'm studying construction project management. And I'm in my last semester, so I should be graduating in December and I'll start looking for jobs after.
Wow. Perfect. Great. So graduation is happening. Parallel, she's doing on the PMP part. Immediately question will come when she's in graduation, how she went for PMP, right? So don't be worried. She was working for a while, some time, and then she moved on. So now she's doing masters in her field. That is a domain expertise she's getting. So what she has done is she has worked some years in companies, organizations, right? Now she moved to country. Now she's expertising that area domain plus management. People listening to the video feel, wow, this is what I want to do. I'm sure somebody's going to message you. Can you give me some guidance what to do?
I'm happy. I'm happy to help anyone.
Right. So how come this PMP Spark came in? Because when I'm seeing a profile, okay, before that, let's go to your certificate because that's pretty important. Right, where is the certificate? Here. Right, that's a beautiful certificate. On September 30th, she cracked. Now, quickly, people can take a look of her learning. It is a paragraph. So we usually have a line, right? She has a paragraph. Okay. Masters in Construction and Management, Construction Project Coordinator at a Union Station, Toronto, Commercial Retail, a Luxury Interior. We were talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Women in construction. She didn't leave any part. Okay, now, how come this is spark of getting to management also were popped up for you? In fact, you are getting into domain expertise. How come this management came in?
So it actually started when I was in India and I was working for an architecture firm.
Hmm.
And my boss actually had studied in America and he started implementing like project management, like,
Systematic.
skills, yes, in the firm. And I always knew somewhere down the line I wanted to do management. Now, I didn't know what PMP was, I didn't know anything about this. And once I started working there, I kind of understood. So we would use these free softwares, a little bit of scheduling and procurement and all of that. And that's when I realized, okay, you know what, I think I like this better than actually designing as an architect.
Uh,
And then I moved to Canada and I worked there for about 3.5 years in construction project management, and I knew that this is what I want to do.
uh-huh.
And then I came here and I thought I'll do my master's and gain a lot more experience. And while I was working in Canada, I kind of also, that's when I kind of understood what what PMP is. And I had colleagues who had PMP certification, so I knew that if I had to get a level up now in my career, now is the time. And I've been thinking of this for like a long time, but it happened like
Oh,
now finally.
oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, somebody is inspired in your life, showing how things can be done in systematically, and that could be a trigger, a spark, right? From there it started.
Yeah.
But good to
Yeah.
know that you are maintaining your technical factor also, architectural side, design side. Parallel, you're doing managerial track, right? This
Yes.
this is a one thing I like. I keep telling people that. when you learn, don't learn one area, learn your domain also, pretty important for the market, because only getting a managerial track, they won't get you, right? If they're looking
Yeah.
for techno manager, are you technically sound? What you can do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. That's good. So how do you see opportunities of management in the country where you are, at least a country like US or Canada? How do they respect the PMP or managerial line?
Very much. I know that the last company that I worked for, if you had to get a project manager role, you had to get your PMP certificate.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and I also worked with a lot of stakeholders involved in it was a large project. There were a lot of stakeholders. And when I used to just speak to them, generally about what I should be doing in my career ahead, and all of them always advise that your PMP certification is now the minimal that you require. And that's when I kind of decided that, at least in my field, I think it's picking up a lot. Yeah.
Understand. Yeah, we keep hearing US, Canada, or Middle East. The PMP is a benchmark. You have to be that level. Then only you can get to managerial. Yeah, that's a point.
Yeah.
Super great. All good. This background, all are well and good. Now, your preparation model. See, I can see you as a most, what do you say, the always reading habit person. As I see, you are all qualification, other stuff. So how do you see PMP when it comes to studies? Because you are already book person regularly. So how do you felt it?
So actually, when I was in architecture and then construction, there's not like a lot of book studying. It was more of, like
Practical.
doing practical or like on softwares and all of that. It was more designing, more like, doing things on a software. It wasn't really studying. And the last time I studied was in my 10th, 12th grade, right? Like those books. And even in graduate school here, it's not really like you have to like study page to page. So it was tough. So one of the challenges I felt was completing the Rita book, which was that thick. So that was the biggest challenge, because I was trying and trying and trying, and it's not getting over. So that was one challenge that I had. But yes, so it was a little challenging at first, but in the last month, I kind of decided that no, you have to do what you have to do, just get it over with now. And
Okay.
yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
So how much of family tolerated or accepted or supported what you do?
Oh, a lot. So I think the reason that I actually gave it now finally was because of my husband. Like from the time he's known me, he's like, I've been hearing from you, you have to give your PMP, you're not giving only. So this time around, I was like, now it's time, because I'm graduating soon. I have to start applying for jobs, and having that PMP certification will, increase my chances for sure. And not only in construction, maybe there's something even better out there.
Right.
So he was the push that I needed, and he supported me a lot. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Sure.
nice. That's nice. So he said that you do it now, right? That's a way. He set up a month, September. But by the way, did you plan your date already? September, you want to do that?
So in my head, I had, because I graduate in December, right? So they say that 3 months before is a good time to start applying. So I was in a rush to kind of have that PMP certificate on my resume before I start applying.
Right. I can see a very strategic move.
Yeah.
I like it. I keep telling people when they try for a job, plan it properly, 3 months or 6 months. Look at the job description in the market, prepare your resume accordingly, right? So that's a good thing you're doing. Good. So reading wise, I know you put a little more effort to read. When it comes to exam, reading is different. When you want to look at as a question, it's different. Even though whatever you read, when you look at as such a question, sometimes your brain won't act properly. So how do you practice your questions? Do you do regularly or?
So honestly, most of my preparation time went in the reading part, right? And then I was struggling to finish the Rita book. Of course, I used to do the questions after every chapter, but I wasn't doing very great. So I used to keep getting demotivated. But in the last 20 days or so, I did the She Learning chapter-wise quizzes. I did the 10 questions. So in those, maybe I used to score better. But in the mock exams, again, I got scared because I used to always hear that everybody is getting 70, 75, and that's the score that I need to get to go to the exam. And I had like the 30th kind of set up in my mind. But yeah, I think I spoke to you, and then I was like, okay, fine. Like the first exam, the first mock that I got like a 63%. So I was like, okay, this is a good score for a first mock. Then I became confident. And then I gave 2 more mocks, and it was in the 60s only. And I was like, oh my God, why am I not getting better at this? But then I kind of did not give up. I was like, you know what, just study. And I think once you start doing those questions, you kind of understand, right, where you're lacking, what you have to go back and study.
Right.
And clear your concepts. So I think those questions help you understand where you're lacking mainly.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that analysis part, what you're saying, that's very important. You start seeing, it's about silly mistakes. If you watch out the analysis, you will see 10 or 15 questions, you have done a blunder mistake. You'll feel, shucks, man, I know this answer, right?
Yeah.
If we correct that, it will touch 75%. But every time you do the same mistake.
Yeah. So I kind of, after the first 2 mocks, I kind of made it a point to kind of go question by question, and even the right ones, right? Sometimes you just guess, right? You get it right, but sometimes you just guess because those 2 answers are so similar. So I used to kind of analyze those properly. Eventually, I learned my lesson and I started analyzing them properly.
Nice. Good. So now we went to the exam. Did you go for a center-based exam or online?
I went for center-based.
Center-based. Okay. How the restrictions are there in US for the center-based? Wearing the mask, or how they maintain it?
Yeah. So I had to wear a mask during the exam. But then there were these cubicles anyway. So it was fine. So everybody was sitting in those cubicles. It was decent. Like all you had to do was just wear a mask, nothing more than that. Yeah.
And on the exam part, are you able to do proper time management? Because that's a big question.
No. So one of the most important things that I wanted to tell was, surprisingly, a lot of my questions were very similar to study hall. Yes. So the last mock I took was study hall, thankfully. Okay. So I kind of understood what these questions are like. And I went to the first question, second question. I was like, oh my God, I got the toughest set of questions, I think. And I started getting very nervous. So in my first section, I decided, as even you had advised, 90, 70, 70, right? I took more than 90 minutes in the first questions, and I started getting so nervous. I took, I think, 10 extra minutes. Yeah. And I got and I understood that study hall type questions I'm getting, I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. And after the first question, so I took 10 minutes extra. So I was like, now I came out for my break. And I started jumping and energizing myself a little bit because I needed that. I started doing self-talk, right? No. First section, it's okay. Second and third, you still have to manage. So time management was the most important. So I started kind of strategizing a little bit. And so in the second
people in the center would have looked at you, what she's doing there.
I was like, I have to do what I have to do. I have to, pump myself up for the second and the third.
Okay.
Then in the second section, so when I was out in the break, I decided now you take at least 5 minutes less, because then your time is becoming less and less and less, right? So now you take 5 minutes less. And then I again went. It was much better this time around because in the first section, I think I thought that the questions were a little tough for me. So in the second one, I kind of was at ease, but I was hurrying up because of the time. So time pressure was there. Then I finished it in 60 minutes. My plan again of finishing 5 minutes ahead did not happen. Again, finished it in 60 minutes. Then I again came out, again started doing my self-talk. So this time I decided that I will first read the last line. Now I have to strategize, right? I have less time now. What am I going to do? So I started reading the last line. then started reading the second line, and I started to give up the first line because I think the first line is always, fluff. Like the XYZ is a project
Once upon a
manager.
time, there was a king.
Yeah, yeah. So I started doing that, and I started quick. So my whatever I had read and heard, that if you don't complete your exam, then your chances of not making it are much higher, right? So I was like, no matter what, even if it's wrong, I have to complete it on time. And with this strategy of leading the last line and the second line, I started going ahead. And guess what? I finished 10 minutes earlier this time around.
Oh.
So I went full speed. And thankfully, I had flagged a few. So I kind of at least could, revise about 30, 40 questions at least again. So I was quite, it was up and down.
See, tell about the strategy. You are telling that you read only the last line and then you understood. Can we follow this strategy from the question number 1?
No, I think, no, don't take that risk all the time. But maybe you can skip the first line because it's all that story. But no, don't do that throughout the exam.
Yes, that's a very risky thing to do.
Yeah.
Maybe it works in the last few questions. The reason is because you answered 120 questions or 150 questions, your brain got a rhythm now. You are in the warmed up stage. When you are in a well-oiled, warmed up stage, chances are your instinct of reading the keyword works there. You read a right keyword, you get the right thing and move forward. This will not happen in the first 100 questions because your engine need to get a warm up, right? So,
agreed. Yeah.
but still, it's risky what you did there. But no other choice.
No, yeah. I mean, I started freaking out because I was like, we all know that study hall questions are difficult, and I got that set only. So I started getting so nervous. And I think the first set, obviously, I took a lot more time because of that nervousness, I feel, because I didn't feel that confident.
That is why I always give 90 minutes for the first 60. Definitely nervousness will be there. After that, the stabilization will happen. But good, you found it. You're able to do self-talk, a little warm-up, whatever it is right. Because it pumps you to feel better. That's interesting. Good. Nice to know that. And do you, if you any chance remember, math questions were there, formulas were there? No, right? They removed it.
No math. Yes.
It's not there. Yeah, it's not there. Good. So, how about agile things? Are you able to manage it? Because I'm seeing you most of the projects of yours maybe in the predictive model, right? So, how do you take this agile part for yourself?
To be very honest, I didn't find it very tough. Like once you understand the concept of what agile is, then I think it was quite easy. Like the few principles, once you understand it, then you have to just apply those principles in the situational questions that you get. Even though I came from a completely predictable background, but once I understood the concept, I was fine.
Makes sense. I like the way you said. The moment once you learn it, principles, that's it. Actually, that's it. But unfortunately, people get scared. What is agile, right? Kind of. Anyway, thanks for making it very simple. Okay, great. Nice to hear about the reading. Right to hear about the exam. Nice to hear about that momentum in the exam hall. Like that. You jogging inside the exam hall. All are nice.
Yeah.
So now, if you want to give some thought process to the people who are preparing like you, so what will be your advice? Do this kind of advice. What do you have?
Read Rita once.
Very good.
And don't get discouraged by the mock exam marks. Because I was very discouraged. I thought I have to get like a 70, 75. But I think, according to me, I started off with 63. And my study hall the last mock I took in study hall was 60%. I thought I would do worse. So it's fine. Like even if I'm saying that I got like study hall questions, I still got 60 in study hall.
Right.
So it's fine. Don't get discouraged by your scores. I mean, of course, there has to be a limit. Like not like if you get a 40, you'll be not discouraged. But yeah.
I think that's a decent
So
score of late. Crossing 60, 65, 70 is a decent score. But again, the confidence level you carry is very important. More than the score, the mindset when you go to the exam hall, or in the exam hall, how do you think? I have to fight till the last ball of the game. Do you have that mindset? That's very important. Are you going to give
yeah,
it
yeah.
up? See, middle of the exam, you shouldn't feel that it's okay. Yeah, I will not clear this exam. Let me give it up. It's not like that, right? You have to fight till the last ball.
Yes,
That's
yes,
pretty interesting. Nice.
definitely.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Valuable inputs. Any more thoughts?
Oh, no, not really. Yeah, I mean, I also want to thank Sri Learning. Uh, and one of, apart from like the lectures, like it was very encouraging and all that, but just to have that community where, when you see success stories and you can reach out to someone who's made it, then you understand the path they took, the
Right.
marks they got.
Right.
Again, having the support of you, Rahul, all of that. I had a study partner from Sri Learning, so that also helped.
That's
So
right.
it forms a community, and your confidence level kind of, boosts a little versus if I would have just studied on my own.
That's
So
true.
one,
Rightly said.
yeah,
That's rightly said. I like this community part because people stay around, help each other, and now they're helping for job opportunities. I
hmm.
don't think whether you're part of that Elite group. If not, we'll invite you. We have this PMP Elite group where people, PMP certified people are in the group, and they start talking to each other about the job openings, opportunities, how to apply for the job, how to present in a forum in a director level interviews or meetings. So I'm seeing that this forum is growing bigger. It's not about PMP now. Beyond PMP, they start talking about. Other day, I was seeing they're talking about how to present KPIs for the directors in the forum. So they're giving some tips and tricks how to do that. I felt, wow, this is
Yeah,
good. It's working,
this
right?
is good. Yeah, this
So
is excellent.
probably will share the invite to the people. I think some of them I missed out. I'll share the invite. So it's worth it in the sense of if you have a like-minded people around, that itself give energy, right? That's pretty important.
100%.
Super,
100%.
great.
Yes.
Great, great. First, thanks a lot for sparing your time here to recall the memory because it's almost a month of time. You were able to recall. I should appreciate your memory power to talk about what happened in the exam. Right, that's
Yeah.
interesting. And good wishes to all the viewers watching this video and give your likes and comments to her because you can see her profile. Look at the passion she has. That's what I can see in the sense of qualification and learning. There are many situations will tell enough. I learned one area, let me stay there. But when I look at her content, she don't want to settle down with one area. She want to go to multiple segments and learn it. Look at now, she's getting ready for the managerial track. See, these all very proactiveness to look yourself what you want to achieve. Right, this is called goal setting and vision. So thanks for being great inspiration, Prachit, and keep rocking more. And I keep telling that leadership is a journey. It's not just because one tag in a company you get a promotion. No, it don't settle there. It's a journey. As you
Yes.
keep moving forward, people start admiring and following you. That's very important. And again, I keep telling that what you learn, please apply. It may be in a personal life or in a corporate life, right? That's pretty important. Super. And
100%.
yeah, great. And good wishes for your masters getting completed. And then get that certificate with that dress code, right? You have to show that.
Yes.
I'll be looking for your December LinkedIn post with that certificate.
Done, done, done. For sure.
Good wishes. Keep
Thank
rocking.
you.
Thanks for coming up here.
Thank you.
Have a great time.
Thank you so much, Rita. Bye-bye.
Bye.